We're so happy to have you join us again here on JW Broadcasting. In the next hour, we'll talk about how to become a better teacher.
Welcome back, beautiful people, and the 62% of you who haven't subscribed yet, to my rebuttal of the August 2023 JW Broadcasting featuring Kenneth Flodine, the Poison Bread Man. In this episode, we're gonna have a plethora of atrocious talks, interviews, and you guessed it, music videos for your enjoyment. You guys know the tradition by now. We're doing the cringe challenge, so if you cringe, you lose. And when you cringe, please let me know the exact moment you lost it. Are you ready? Let's go.
How important is the use of illustrations? Are they simply fluff in our teaching?
Flodine has such an obsession with illustrations, it's kind of worrying. He's renowned for bringing clunky props onto the stage, like buckets full of rocks and bread covered in poison. All that to illustrate concepts like sin and time management. Yeah, I kid you not.
This bread is ruined. When Jehovah determines someone has sinned against the Spirit, there's no forgiveness possible. That one's relationship with Jehovah has been forever ruined. Jehovah discards the person like a piece of garbage.
So illuminate us, Kenny, master of illustrations. Show us how to be good Bible teachers.
One father told me that even when his children were not with him,
the first 10 minutes of Flodine's talk go from mind-numbingly boring to mind-numbingly dumb. Then he starts talking about kittens.
He would look at creation and come up with a line of reasoning that might be helpful in the future. And he gave an example. He observed two kittens playing together. He reasoned, do those kittens look happy? Yes. If Jehovah knows what it takes to make two kittens happy, do you think he knows what it would take to make you happy?
This is big brain time.
Well, obviously, a child would agree.
That's a kindergarten level illustration. What about all the homeless kittens of the world? What about all the kittens torn apart by predators? Was Jehovah taking care of them as well? Did Jehovah want them to be happy, Kenny? I wonder if Flodine is gonna pull out some hand puppets to draw his point home.
So if Jehovah knows what it would take to make you happy, what should you do if Jehovah says to do something a certain way? Profound, Dad. Do it Jehovah's way if you want to be happy.
Or if you want to cut your life short in case you need a blood transfusion. What can kittens teach us about human morality? Absolutely nothing. But Flodine thinks we can learn how to make wise decisions by looking at baby animals. Good luck with that, mate.
Meow?
Now, the beautiful reality, the golden moment, was when he saw one of his sons watching two squirrels in a tree chasing each other. He used the squirrels as his illustration, along with the prepared line of reasoning. Now, his son still remembers that point many decades later.
Yeah, if my dad tried to indoctrinate me with such shitty illustrations, I would also remember it.
Jesus was able to reach hearts, not only by means of his teaching skills, but also because of his outstanding qualities. Think of his empathy. His compassion and fellow feeling just drew people to him like a magnet. What role can our empathy and fellow feeling play as we preach to others in this loveless world?
This world is loveless? I don't see many groups outside Watchtower shunning their own families over religious differences, you lunatic.
Take a look at the following dramatization.
Of course, Watchtower shows a depressing city on a cloudy day with sad music showcasing the worst of society. Last thing this girl needs is a JW to come and peddle a Watchtower on her face. I think that would really fit the mood.
Okay, and everything bagel with cream cheese and a large slutty. $8.50.
Oh, I think I forgot my purse.
Not my problem.
Come on, I'm here all the time. I've been waiting forever.
And yet, still not my problem.
Are you serious? I can bring you the money after work.
Next customer.
Yeah, I would bet my left nut that a hipster looking guy like this would never act like such an asshole, especially to a frequent customer. Watchtower has such a debased view of worldly people. It's just a caricature at this point.
Sorry, how much was her order?
$8.50.
Oh, I've got it. And could you add a regular coffee with cream?
Fine. 12 even.
I swear, if this lady turns out to be a Jehovah's Witness, I'ma lose my mind.
Do I know you?
Nope, I just wanted to help.
Thank you.
Of course.
How can I get your money to you?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
Jesus Christ, put that tract away, woman. Could you not perform an act of kindness for the sake of kindness without the ulterior motive of converting someone?
Thanks. But if you'd like a little something encouraging to read on your way to work, you might enjoy this.
Yeah, that tract will provide you with 60 seconds of reading material.
I don't believe in God.
May I ask why?
Okay, boys and girls, time to place your bets. Does this lady not believe in God because she has not been presented sufficient evidence for his existence, like is the case with most atheists? Or is she an atheist because she underwent a painful experience and is angry with God? I'm sure Watchtower is not gonna go with the latter scenario, since that does not reflect the experience of most atheists.
I just don't. Thanks again. You're very sweet.
This is total hogwash. Refugees of war tend to be more religious in general. Watchtower believes all atheists don't believe in God because they've undergone a traumatic experience of sorts. They could never, ever acknowledge an atheist that sincerely does not believe.
Okay. How many years in the camp?
11.
Will anyone else in your family be requesting resettlement?
No.
Why?
They are all dead. Killed.
I need a copy of your identity card.
Jeez, Watchtower just wanted to check all the boxes in the depressing trope list.
Hey, I saw your son.
No! We don't hire foreigners! You ruined your country! Don't come here and ruin ours! Get out!
What the fuck is this propaganda? Humans don't talk like this. How did he even know she was a foreigner if she's dressing and speaking English? It feels like I'm watching a cartoon.
None of us are professional actors.
Haha, nice. J-Dubs never looked this happy on the cart. Despite the crude caricatures of worldly people, refugees do tend to be the prime targets of cults like JWs. They're in an emotionally vulnerable state and in need of a sense of community. Of course, they're gonna fall for these groups promising a future paradise and a worldwide family. It's a trap, girl. Run! It had been a while since a propaganda video made me physically cringe. What an abysmal portrayal of the world. No wonder JWs are so depressed.
Never underestimate the power of empathy. Even the smallest gesture of kindness on our part can lead to someone opening their heart to the truth.
I've experienced more acts of kindness from worldly people than I ever experienced from the congregation. I'm talking about Muslims, Catholics, Buddhists, feeding me and inviting me into their homes, and they did it without trying to convert me into their religion. Most JWs I know would definitely help you in your hour of need, but the fact that they do it out of a need to preach to you kinda just ruins the whole thing. This cult sucks.
The video also taught us something else. The ministry in all of its forms can have a cumulative effect on a person's heart, softening it over time to accept the kingdom message. Of course, we have empathy not only for those in the field, but also for our own brothers and sisters, and that includes our young ones. Day after day, they have to deal with peer pressure at school, and it's intense. Take her from Delan and Isaac. They share their stories in this episode of My Teen Life.
Yay, My Teen Life, the best JW series ever.
I went to a vocational school where I was able to fast-track learning a trade. Unexpectedly, I finished at the top of my class. After that, my teachers and my classmates started to expect a lot more from me. They were saying, "You're doing so well. You represent the school. You will have to work hard. You'll do great things. You'll go far." They were constantly putting pressure on me to go for higher education and to go to university.
Well, you're clearly a very smart girl. I'm sure you took their advice and continued bettering yourself in school, right? Right?
There was this girl in high school who was my age. She was very friendly, she always paid attention to me. She was a nice person. I also thought she was cute. My classmates were like, "Go, talk to her." Or, "Hey, Isaac, do you know that she likes you?"
Hey, where was all this peer pressure when I was in school?
And so I wasn't sure what to do. Of course, when I chose to go to that school, higher education wasn't the reason. I wanted to fast-track getting a trade and then starting a job so that I could earn my income. That's what I thought. It was a really difficult time for me. I remember praying to Jehovah in tears for hours.
Praying to God in tears for hours? No one should be subjected to this amount of emotional stress over school.
I didn't ask for advice, didn't talk to friends or people I trusted about it, not even my parents. And little by little, I started to give in to that pressure that I got because of this girl. In the end, we started to flirt with each other. We chatted and sent each other messages.
Oh wow, what a horrible human being.
When I prayed to Jehovah, I didn't feel completely comfortable. I thought, if I'm not doing what Jehovah is asking of me, if I'm not behaving how Jehovah expects me to behave, then how can I expect him to listen to my prayers or even consider them?
All-powerful creator of the universe refuses to listen to the prayers of one of his creatures because he's texting a girl from school? Why is this God so miserable?
My family never told me to go or not to go to university, but they reminded me of Jehovah's thinking.
So they indirectly told you not to go. Also, why would the all-knowing creator of the universe be against university? Does he want a legion of dumbasses?
My dad read Proverbs 27 verse 11 to me. What I was doing was a barrier between me and Jehovah. He helped me see that the decisions I make as a teenager affect Jehovah.
The most powerful being in the universe is gonna get his feelings hurt because of your mundane decisions? It's such a ridiculous premise once you lay it out that way.
What helped me the most was something I heard at a circuit assembly. The speaker said in his talk, "Yes, our young people have a lot of challenges right now. And when it comes to higher education, maybe their classmates and teachers are pressuring them. But you young people," it felt like he spoke to me personally. "Your teacher or classmate might not even be part of your life in the future. But if you want Jehovah always to be in your life, then you need to make your decisions accordingly."
What is that supposed to mean? You don't go to university so you get to see your teacher all your life. You go because you want to improve your future. Ugh.
It was like a light went on in my head. Now I was sure about what I needed to do.
I had to speak to her. One day I prayed to Jehovah and got up the courage. I told her that it couldn't continue with us.
What a way to fumble the bag.
Of course, explaining that to my classmates and to my teachers was a little hard. I mean, it was difficult for them to understand. Sure, I explained it, but they said, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah, when all your classmates tell you you're making the same mistake, maybe you should listen to them.
Our Creator, Jehovah, is the one who thinks about me and loves me most. He hasn't deprived me of anything good.
I just can't with this crap today. Watchtower loves setting young people up for failure. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, boys and girls. Watchtower is not going to pay for your retirement.
Now we'd like to share something special with you. A recent discovery that has rewritten a part of our theocratic history.
Wow, is the Ministry of Truth hard at work again?
Enjoy the following story, more than 80 years in the making.
Jehovah's Witnesses love the Bible.
They love it so much that they created their own translation of the Bible that no Bible scholar takes seriously.
A rare Bible printed in 1934 at Magdeburg.
The boys now proceed to geek out about a previously unknown Bible printed by the Watchtower Society in Germany. It's actually a very neat piece of trivia, but I know you guys are here for the laughs and the memes, not the memorabilia.
The Magdeburger Bible is the first known Bible to be translated and published by Jehovah's Witnesses, predating the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures. It was able to survive in a time of Nazi government opposition and is now part of our Bible Museum at Warwick.
Cool.
In a morning worship program, Brother Jeffrey Jackson discussed what we can learn from the Apostle Paul and how to reach the heart.
How would you define a good teacher?
Now we get to hear Lion Jackson talk about the qualities of a good teacher.
Going back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, what's the second point that Paul mentions? A false front with greedy motives. So a false front, pretending to be someone that you're not. So none of us would ever want to put across a self-righteous viewpoint to try and convince others that we are holier than they are. But as it says here, not to have that false front.
Alright guys, well, once you watch Jeffrey Jackson's testimony in the Australian Royal Commission a few years ago, you can't take anything he says seriously. This dude is the definition of a false front. In front of his followers, he claims to be a spokesperson for God himself, the only channel he is using. And in front of the courts, he says he's not the only one God is using.
That I think would seem to be quite presumptuous to say that we are the only spokesperson that God is using.
You slimy little weasel.
So certainly as a teacher of the good news, we wouldn't want to expect some benefits or something that would come back to us by means of our teaching.
Oh boy, second hypocrisy strike, Jackson. I have a whole playlist on your organization asking for money.
And then in verse 6, he said he wasn't seeking the glory of men, or as one translation says, insisting on our own dignity. So it could be that if we're a teacher, we may feel that we deserve a certain measure of respect. Yes, our position is a little higher than the student. Deserve a certain measure of respect. Yes, our position is a little higher than the student.
Avoid being presumptuous.
Third strike, Jackson, you're out. Go play the hypocrite somewhere else. The only thing you're good at teaching is how to be a two-faced cult leader.
Anyone that comes into the truth wants to share that with their family.
I had the desire really to tell them the truth, how they can get free from oppression and sickness and death.
Yeah, you haven't got freedom from any of those, Grandma. You were supposed to be in paradise like 5 decades ago.
In that luggage, in various places, we put literature. Traveling into a country with banned literature is not without its problems or dangers.
They knew that we had some literature, and that was the track.
My mother realized that we were going to be searched. We had the ability then to take the literature out of each luggage that we had hidden it and to put it into one small briefcase. And what we couldn't, as unfolded tracts, we put around our arm with our overcoats over it.
When I was a believer and heard these stories of JW smuggling literature through countries where it was banned, I saw them as examples of bravery, but now I see that it was just reckless behavior, both from them and from Watchtower, who placed such an irrational obsession over their magazines. You're Christians, pick up a Bible and read it together. I'm sure God would understand. Why risk your freedom and the welfare of your children over some magazines which, ironically, are now considered alt-light?
It helps me practically every minute in my life. And I want to use my last energy to make His will known.
The generation that shall not pass away, passing away before our very eyes.
Do you have faithful ones like Sister Kolonyanov in your congregation? Keep them in mind as you enjoy this month's music video.
Oh no.
It's called 2 Small Coins.
If you haven't lost the cringe challenge yet, guys, good luck. Okay guys, before you overdose on cringe here, we need to talk about the story of the poor widow. I don't think we've done that in the channel before, because it's one of the most misunderstood passages in the New Testament. In the Gospel of Luke, the poor widow is mentioned in the beginning of chapter 21, but the story actually starts in the previous chapter. And when you ignore the chapter break and put both of them together, it all makes sense. Jesus is condemning the teachers of the law for being greedy and devouring the widows' houses. While the teachers donate to the temple from their dirty money, you know, the ones they stole from the widows, the widow is left with only 2 small coins, and she's still expected to donate. This story was never about donating in a state of poverty. It's actually a condemnation of greed. So the fact that the governing body and a whole other array of Christian charlatans often use the story to push their followers to give money is beyond ironic.
No matter how small, don't wonder at all. Does he notice my sacrifice? It's not hard to believe if we see how he sees, if we see through Jehovah's eyes. Two small coins. Would she have thought of all she'd given before?
So now we're making a full fanfiction of a Bible character which is only mentioned like once in the Bible.
He sees all we can be. No matter how small, don't wonder at all. Does he notice my sacrifice? It's not hard to believe if we see how he sees, if we see through Jehovah's eyes.
Do you have a crippling disability? Who cares? Just don't forget to turn in your monthly ministry report and smile for the camera because we're gonna be using you for our next propaganda piece.
Two small coins. Do you see through Jehovah's eyes?
More Watchtower fantasies, making converts through letter writing. But at least they didn't ask their members to donate this time.
What a beautiful reassurance that no matter what our limitations may be, our gifts have great value in Jehovah's eyes.
Sure, Kenny, whatever you say. And the propaganda for this month, guys, concludes with a postcard from the beautiful country of New Zealand.
Residents of New Zealand are often nicknamed Kiwis, a nod to one of the country's most unique indigenous birds, the long-billed and flightless kiwi.
Here's a fun fact for you. Kiwis lay the biggest eggs in the bird class, relative to their size. The eggs equal like 20% of the kiwi's total body mass, and they put the female through such intense suffering for 30 days. Imagine having a baby that is 20% of your body mass. Fuck! What does Jehovah have against tiny birds? I'm sure floating can help us get an illustration out of this. Indoctrination is like the egg, and we are the kiwi. So the egg causes a lot of suffering, but once it's out, we are filled with relief. You don't like my illustration? It's better than the kitten illustration, isn't it?
From the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, this is JW Broadcasting.
So let me know what you thought of this broadcast in the comments below, guys, and let me know the exact moment you lost the cringe challenge. What a massive circus, like always. If you appreciate my work and would like to help me continue it for years to come, please join me on Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube. It's only $1 a month and you gain early access to all my videos and you help me continue this work for years to come. I want to give a special shout out to Nightcore C12, Michael D, Bonnie D, Jay Miller, Christian P, Serial Killer, Jason C, Juan R, and all of my Patreon community for your loving support. You guys are the best. And please don't forget to subscribe for future Watchtower rebuttals. Take it easy, guys. Have a wonderful day and stay away from the tower.
Your heavenly throne, on justice it stands.
Another Lion King ripoff? Sue them, Disney.